Let's go. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up.
Y'all hear that beat? That's the beat that started it all. Back in 2024, when Coach Tony and I launched the Pull Up Podcast show, one of my few requirements as producer was that he bring the DJ energy. Literally. He wrote some lyrics, then passed them to his nephew, Demetrius, Young Farah out of Atlanta, who produced this track you're vibing to right now. Every time we stream it on Facebook, we get that little copyright ping because Demetrius has already protected his work. And honestly, that's the business side of music we love to see. Ownership protection and pride in your craft. That spirit is what's driving our next chapter. We shifted gears and retuned our frequency. Our new name, the Interludes Podcast, Entrepreneurs and DJ Culture, Music and Rhythm. It's still your familiar interludes, but now we're widening the circle, calling in creators, musicians, singers, and everyone who moves to the rhythm of business and art. This change was inspired in part by a conversation I recently heard between Trevor Noah and Idris Elba. Idris shared how when acting slowed down, he went back to the turntables. DJ culture and music weren't just hobbies, they were a lifeline, a reminder of who he was at the core. That kind of story hits home. It's why we're here today, remixing what interludes means and where it's headed. So settle in. This is a special edition of the Interludes Podcast where we celebrate the intersection of hustle and harmony. I'm Val the Voice Johnson, and this is the Interludes Podcast. The Interludes Podcast,
a Pure Lighthouse production.
This episode is brought to you by PureLighthouseMedia.com, home to the book, A DJ Saved My Life, where the ABCs of podcasting and the personal memoir come together perfectly. If you want to start your podcast journey, schedule a 15-minute call with me, research our podcasting blog tips. It's all on our fully remodeled website today.
And now, all the way from the south side of Chicago, give it up for your host, Val the Voice Johnson.
Over the past few years, I've been sitting under the teaching of some incredible entrepreneurs, including David Shands, better known as the podcasting powerhouse behind Social Proof. In his morning meetup, we're constantly challenged to grow our platforms, chase the bag, and just as importantly, build community. That last part, the community, is what stuck with me. When I looked at everything I've built over the last 5 years, I realized I've been chasing that sense of connection the whole time. Though our Facebook group, the Interludes Podcast, and I always addressed folks as the Interludes family, I thought that was enough. But it was broad. I wanted to reach deeper, to speak directly to DJs, artists, musicians, and entrepreneurs walking their own creative paths. And that's where the new name comes in, the Interludes Podcast, Entrepreneurs and DJ Culture, Music and Rhythm. Makes it real plain. It's longer for sure, but it's also clearer for our search engines and for the people we want to serve. At the core, though, it's still the Interludes Podcast. That name holds to my roots. Back in the 1990s, I was that kid lugging the crates of vinyl, chasing cables, and setting up speakers just to get the party going. Eventually, I worked up the nerve to spin a few records myself. Small gigs, a house party here, a reception there, but I always did it with heart. Now the game's changed. DJs today can carry tens of thousands of tracks on an external drive or stream anything they want instantly. But the essence of the craft, that stays the same. Coach Tony Thompson still holds it down as a DJ, spinning house and early hip hop, music that teaches history while it moves your feet. His sets are usually for the over 50 crowd, yeah, that's me, who remembers Chicago house music back in the day. And his set also serves as a music lesson tool for that under 30 crowd, a trip through sound that's older than they realize. For me, DJing became personal again, and during the pandemic, while the world shut down, I went virtual, hosting sets on Zoom, Facebook Live, and Instagram, and watching people smile through screens as we use music to push back against isolation. Now, I turned 50 during the height of the pandemic, and I refused to spend such an incredible milestone birthday alone. I hosted my own birthday party while hundreds of my friends and family jammed in their own homes until the wee hours of the night. I remember thinking, oh man, music, that's the power of rhythm. It reminds us we're all still alive. And through it all, Interludes has stood for evolution, the space between tracks where creativity breathes. For my very first episode about Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and you know where the word interludes comes from, to the producers who also defined the sound of Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 1814 to now, that name has carried meaning. It started with the music, and it's still about the music. Only now we're widening the beat to include every creative entrepreneur who is making their own kind of sound.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey y'all, this is Val the Voice, and you know what? My morning routine will never be the same. I recently joined an amazing online entrepreneurial group that has truly changed my life. Every morning from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern, I connect with hundreds of entrepreneurs in the morning meetup for live coaching, accountability, mentorship, and more. The coaching and accountability are fantastic, but my favorite part is the book club. I'm reading more now than ever. The content is inspiring, and the monthly themes guide the coaching and exclusive members-only content. If this sounds like something for you and you're ready to take your entrepreneurial journey to the next level, trust me, it's been a game changer for my business, and I think you'll love it. Use the link in the description to find out more about the morning meetup membership. And guess what, y'all? It's at a mere $19 a month. I'd love to see you there. So let's grow our businesses together. And now, back to the show. When I think about where music and entrepreneurship meet, one name stands out: D-Nice. I first met Derek years ago at a non-for-profit event, back when most people still remembered him as one of the rappers from Boogie Down Productions. We had a couple of conversations, and I could tell he was in the middle of redefining himself. He decided to make DJing his full-time focus long before the rest of the world would see what that meant. I even remember catching wind of what he charged for that gig. It was modest. But ever since I learned that, at that point, I knew D-Nice was rebuilding his name, learning to bet on himself again. Fast forward a few years, and D-Nice became the face of the most powerful cultural moments of the pandemic, Club Quarantine. What started as a simple Instagram live set turned into a global gathering. 100, sometimes 200,000 people would log in all at once just to dance around their living rooms while the world stood outside still. He turned music into medicine, and from that, a full-blown brand was born, Club Quarantine. He sold hats, t-shirts, and eventually became the go-to DJ for some of the biggest music events on the planet, including those legendary versus battles that Swiss Beat and Timberland launched. He showed us what it looks like when artistry meets entrepreneurship. You're not just playing music, you're creating an experience. I remember seeing D-Nice appear in the first season of Luke Cage. You guys remember that show? Spinning at the club, his name glowing across his laptop. It was a blink and you'll miss it moment, but it meant something. I know it did. I think he crossed over, fully embodying the idea that a DJ is more than a storyteller. He's a business and a brand all at once. The man who once spun at a nonprofit dinner was now curating culture on a global stage. And then there's Questlove, another perfect example of what happens when creativity becomes enterprise. He's not just the roots drummer, leader, and music historian. He's an Academy Award-winning filmmaker. His documentary, Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised, reclaimed a lost chapter of black music history, the 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival. It won the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature in 2022. Now, at the time that he won this award, other people were talking, the world was talking about other things at that point. But do you know how many hours of footage Questlove had to look through to cut this awesome documentary together? Earlier this year, he premiered another film at the Sundance Film Festival called Sly Lives, The Burden of Black Genius, a deep, raw look at Sly Stone's brilliance and pain. Questlove reminds me that being a DJ or a musician isn't about performance. It's about ownership, storytelling, and legacy. And how wonderful the legacy of Sly Stone was captured just before he passed earlier this summer. That's the space the Interludes Podcast wants to live in, where rhythm meets revenue and art meets accountability. Because when you can turn your creativity into commerce, that's when your light truly shines the brightest. Now, you know what? Recently, I started watching a podcast from Trevor Noah called Now What? And he interviewed one of my favorite actors, Idris Elba. Now, what struck me most in the Trevor Noah's interview with Idris Elba was how familiar the grind sounded. Idris shared that after leaving England, when his acting career was steady but boxed in, he moved to America, determined to break through the glass ceiling. The move nearly broke him. For 2 years, he couldn't land steady work. His savings ran out within 6 months. He was faced with the kind of decision that makes or unmakes a dream. Go home or find another way to stay. He chose to stay. He shipped 6 crates of records across the Atlantic and started DJing in New York and Jersey City just to keep himself afloat. Those nights behind the turntables weren't just survival, they were training. He was learning how to hold a crowd, command a rhythm, and find balance between art and hustle. That same rhythm, the one that kept the music alive, became the beat that carried him in the acting world here in the States. What connects Idris and Trevor isn't just talent, it's adaptation. Both men came to America as outsiders with accents that didn't quite fit the culture, and they had to learn how to navigate. They understood that reinvention takes courage. Idris learned on DJing to stay creative when acting doors had closed briefly, while Trevor Noah learned on comedy to translate who he was to audiences who didn't understand him yet. Listening to them reminded me that artistry and entrepreneurship share the same DNA: resilience, resourcefulness, and rhythm. It's the will to keep creating even when the world says no. That's the story that resonates with the Interludes Podcast. It's the soundtrack of persistence. What's next? Season 10 is wide and opening and spinning. We're lining up artists and builder minds who believe and live in the corner of hustle and harmony. And yes, we're bringing back Chicago's own Kendall Nesbitt, the composer behind our Interlude sound, to talk craft catalogs and the business behind the music. The new hub is Pure Lighthouse Media. Hit Welcome to the Light to start your show, get our email updates, and tap into fresh blogs from our writing team on how to launch and grow a podcast. Let's keep the conversation rolling on LinkedIn at Pure Lighthouse Media-Interludes and on our Pure Lighthouse Media Facebook page. But the deepest dive happens on the site. And if this rebrand has you nodding, grab my book, A DJ Saved My Life. It's the story of how virtual DJing and podcasting pulled me through the pandemic and kickstarted a real business. Coach Tony is still crate digging. Those $35 vinyls aren't playing. I'm just dusting off my classics, and together we're spotlighting DJs, musicians, entrepreneurs, documentary storytellers, and anyone turning rhythm into revenue. Share this, subscribe, and tell a friend who loves the art and the enterprise. We want D-Nice, Idris Elba, Spinderella, and the whole DJ fam to hear this wave and to pull up, as Coach Tony would say. Tune in next time for another edition. And as I always say in closing, I'm Val the Voice Johnson, and this is the Interludes Podcast. Next time on the Interludes Podcast.
I think God has kind of looked out for me in that every place I've been, the artists and I have always kind of connected.
Talented musician, educator, and founder of Edge Music, Rodney Edge Sr. Next time on the Interludes Podcast. The Interludes Podcast.
Original concept by Valerie Johnson.
Sports segments for Talk on Tuesdays, produced by Coach Tony Thompson.
Original intro and outro music produced by Kendall Nesbitt.
The Interludes Podcast, a Pure Lighthouse production. This episode is brought to you by our brand new website, PureLighthouseMedia.com, the official home of A DJ Saved My Life, where the ABCs of podcasting meet personal transformation. And now available in print. Order your signed copy today and discover how finding your voice can change your life. Are you a business or entrepreneur looking to promote your work through a dynamic podcasting platform? Partner with us through sponsorship and marketing opportunities. Your message belongs in front of our audience. Got that $1 million podcast idea, but don't know where to start? Whether you need a coach, a guide, or a full-on producer, I'm here to walk you through the process and bring your podcast vision to life. Visit PureLighthouseMedia.com today to get your book, book your consultation, or connect with us about sponsorship. Let's grow together.